shoes. Recorded live.
All right. Welcome. This is Nagonia Peace, a.k.a. Queen of Education on TalkShoe. And this particular call is really an overview of the channel and the type of information that we're going to share on the channel. We're dealing with, on this channel, lawful debt discharge and freedom in commerce. And the reason why I decided to go ahead and start a TalkShoe channel of my own is I've been in research with this information since the year 1999 and have been heavily studying the last maybe 3 to 4 years, really going deep into study. And it really I guess, kind of reignited my interest in dealing with my mortgage company. So I have lots of information to share in that regard, and lots of more information to really share. So anyways, when I talk with a lot of individuals regarding, the different jurisdictions, the 2 different jurisdictions that are functioning in our society, 99% of people, they tend to look at me as if, I have, 3 or 4 different heads. And I don't know, like I'm an alien or something. It's just so far removed from their mental concept of what's really going on. And it's shocking to me because, the information is so old. It's so old and it's been out here forever. But it just goes to show that, all the other people out here that have their channels based on commerce and, dealing with freeing themselves and people reclaiming their God-given rights, it's still not enough. So, if everyone that were tuned in would, start their own channel and start to educate people and really help to wake people up, then that's the service and the thing that we need when we're talking about, reclaiming our government and getting government back in order. It comes through education and not just understanding who you are. I'm sure you hear that quite a bit. You got to know who you are. It goes even deeper than that because some individuals out here, they've been studying for years and they know who they are, but they're not acting on that. They don't know their role in society. They don't stand up and defend their rights and exercise their rights. They pretty much just kind of have a gloss overview of all this information. And so what I intend to put out here and to give back to the community as a whole is my life experiences on how I am maneuvering through commerce and using lawful ways to discharge debt and using lawful means to interact with the democracy and, operate in commerce and things of that nature. The first thing, I'm going to go through like a series of questions because these are questions that I get quite a bit from people that are fairly new to this education. There is a PDF document. It's called Invisible Contracts, and I'm trying to pull that up here so that I could give you the author's name. I tell you what, if you Google it, you can't find it. Send me an email, and I'll send you the PDF. Because in my opinion, this is like what we should have learned back in grade school. This is the document that we should have learned along with the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. This invisible contract, it really goes into detail to explaining and showing you by all of the licenses that you have, state, federal government, etc., how all of those contracts are adhesion contracts and really lopsided contracts. Because if you think about it, anytime you go into a contract, you want to have a mutually beneficial contract, not a lopsided contract that's not in your favor. And in most cases, that is the case in dealing with the democracy. So if you send me an email to negoniapeace@gmail.com, it's NEGONYAH peace@gmail.com, and just put in the subject, send invisible contract, and I will email you that PDF. That is the foundation of a lot of what you will learn in going through, listening to our channels, other people's channels about commerce and different things of that nature. The foundation that you need to understand is exactly who you are and, what jurisdiction you're operating in, and how to operate in the jurisdiction that's going to benefit you the most. And it's just like with anything else. You hear about people, it has nothing to do with taxes or anything like that in a sense, but you hear about people that possibly, they expatriate from the United States and they move to a so-called tax haven country. And what they're doing is they're moving into a different jurisdiction that's going to give them, the better benefit or the most benefit for themselves and their family. And you can, in essence, do the exact same thing without packing up and physically moving, but just by giving notice to the democracy jurisdiction that, hey, you've woken up from a long, long nightmare and you regained your senses, and you're reclaiming your God-given rights, and you're going to stand in your own power, and you are going to be the queen or king that you were intended to be by the Creator, which I call God. And that's really what this is all about for me. This is not about trying to get over on anything or, trying not to, pay my fair share or, whatever the media and the narcs try to, infiltrate within this movement or whatever. It's not about that. It's about not being oppressed. It's about operating in the world the way God intended me to. And it's about not serving man or woman. It's about not serving any being except the Creator. That's what it's about for me. A lot of people get into this education for various reasons. My background is marketing. I've been in marketing for quite a while. Some of you that may tune into this channel may know me in a different light in the online marketing arena. But, that was great and that's good and everything like that. But at the end of the day, I feel like we have to do the thing that drives us. And we have to do the thing that really, really gets to our core. And I feel like educating people about freedom and reclaiming their God-given rights, that is the thing that gets me. That is the thing that, I could spend hours upon hours upon hours in conversations and sharing this information with people because it's so life-changing, so life-transforming that there's nothing else that I've ever done in my life that I've ever been so passionate about. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that was my intent for my incarnation, was to share this information and to be a leader in this education and help free the slaves. I was actually on a call last night, and that call was only supposed to be 30 minutes or so, and we actually spent about 2.5 hours on that call, just really meeting and greeting. We're creating a study group in our local area. I encourage you to do the same thing, where you can physically meet with people and, get a group of you going and educated in this information. And, invite them on to our calls here as well, so that, we can all share and learn and grow and so forth and so on. But I I call myself the modern day Harriet Tubman. You know, the modern day Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman freed the slaves. That's what I feel like I'm doing. I feel like, you know, I'm kind of opening a door, shedding some light, or shining a light for people to really explore and dig deeper into their education about freedom, about sovereignty, about standing in your power, being your own queen or king, and using the remedies that are out here for us and that have been out here for us to lawfully discharge our debt and to act and take our rightful positions as the sovereign queen kings that we are. And that's the only way, in my opinion, that we'll ever get back to a system whereby we're not sitting, you know, on the couch and blaming whatever president is in office for our circumstances and situations that are taking place, because it's not their fault. It's our fault. It's our fault as a people, as a whole, as a community, regardless to your color, your gender, your age. It doesn't matter. This is not about that whatsoever. Our channel does not come from a religious agenda, a gender agenda, a race agenda, none of that. It's just about, you know, sharing information to help people to free themselves and to reclaim their God-given rights, regardless to who you are, what color you are, what sex you are, whatever. That's not our concern, you know. And I realize that there are other people out there that have different agendas in this education, and that's, you know, that's their right, whatever they choose to do. I'm just letting you know where we stand and what our come from is with True Wealth Society. So basically, that's pretty much it. I just, you know, wanted to record the overview so that you'll have an idea as far as what this channel is all about. Some of the rules, I don't really like rules, but some of the rules that we like to put into place as far as, you know, when we do the calls or whatever and on the chat, just, you know, stick to whatever subject matter we're discussing in the chat room, and try not to make it about, you know, your agenda, whatever you have going on. If that's your intent, just, you know, start your own channel. Not a big deal. Start your own channel, do your own thing. So just be respectful of everyone, and just, you know, treat everyone accordingly. Treat everyone as if they were your mother and they were your sister or family member or whatever, because we are one big family, and we're all here to help one another and to, you know, help each other to have a better life, an abundant life, and a prosperous life. And that's what we're about with True Wealth Society. A couple of other points, if you'd like to connect with us, we do have a Twitter channel. The Twitter handle is True Wealth Club. True Wealth Club. So it's at True Wealth Club. And if you're a Twitter person, you know what that means. We don't have Facebook yet. We'll get that set up. We do have also a paid educational website. Those are for people that would like a little bit more personal interaction. Then you can go to truewealthsociety.com. It's a pretty low-cost fee to become a member right now. It's only $29. That's just one time. And that will get you your basic foundational education via streaming video and lots of documents that goes along with that. So, you know, you have lifetime access once you pay the $29 tuition fee, and you can watch that stuff over and over and over again. Another thing that we do for our paid members is we have once a month, we have a roundtable Q&A call, and we don't finish until the last question gets asked. So that's really, really important. Some of the things that I've seen out here is that people don't get their questions answered all the time, so forth and so on. We're not telling you that we're going to be able to answer all of your questions. You know, it's up to each of us to research, to study, and to learn for ourselves and come up with our own truth and come up with our own facts. So, but at any rate, it's kind of, you know, for people that would like a little bit more personal attention. And also we're working on an advanced education membership. These people will be, you know, official True Wealth Society members. It's more of an advanced level, meaning you pretty much understand the basics, and you have already reclaimed your rights, and you're free from the democracy. And so, those people in that area will be more interested in the advanced education. It's not done yet, but we're looking at towards the end of 2012 to have that completed. And with each of our memberships, our members get to share in the tuitions. So if they refer, you refer family members or interested individuals, and they get a membership, then we actually pay you 50% of whatever tuition level they purchase, either the basic or the advanced. Because what we're looking at is a mechanism to assist individuals to operate and to be able to generate their own revenue without a traditional, 9-to-5 job, different things of that nature. So we're always looking at different avenues to help the people in that respect. And so at current, that's one way that we're helping, and we got some other ideas that we're going to be coming out with as well. So, but anyway, start wherever you see fit for you. Do whatever is comfortable for you. Doesn't matter either way to us. We just want to be able to help as many people as we can. So I think I've talked enough for right now. Possibly we're going to have the channel calls every Wednesday or Thursday. I think it's going to be Wednesday. The first one that we have on schedule is this Thursday, which is July 12th. That'll be our first one, but I believe we're going to go every Wednesday night. But if you can't get on live, then you can put it into your iTunes, and it'll automatically download. So anything that you miss, you can just go back and you can listen to them in your iTunes. Okay. Another way you can connect with us is we have a YouTube channel, and that address is youtube.com/True Wealth Society. youtube.com/True Wealth Society. And just thinking if there's anything that I left out here in the overview. No, I would just say, the first call that we have coming up, what we're going to discuss is how to reclaim your God-given rights and how to, take back administrative rights over the entity, your all caps straw name. I call it a franchise. People call it straw, whatever. But that entity, how to become the administrator or the executor over that entity and really control and operate properly in commerce versus the way that you've always been doing it. So we're going to go into detail on the first call with that information, because that's where we need to start. A great foundation, a good foundation built, a solid foundation built is just the way that it should be. A lot of people want to start at, discharging debt or doing this or doing that, and they don't even have their status proper in the public. So I think that's why some folks get into trouble, is because they're trying to be a disobedient slave, and they can't do that. You can't be a disobedient slave. You can either walk off the plantation, fire your slave master, or you just take whatever's given to you and grin it and bear. So it's your decision, and hopefully you will choose to walk off the plantation and reclaim your God-given rights. So with that being said, look forward to connecting with each and every single one of you, and I'll hear you some kind of way or another through all the means that it's out there to connect with us. So I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Peace and blessings to you.